Hello, 5th graders. Welcome to lesson 12.5, metric units. Let's get started. Today's lesson objective is I can compare and convert metric units by determining if I am changing from a larger unit to a smaller unit or reverse with 100% accuracy in multiple attempts. Please pause to write the I can and by statement in your digital math notebook now. All right, 5th graders, today we are still talking about measurement, but we're talking about a different unit of measurement called the metric system. The metric system is not the same as inches, pounds, yards, miles, feet, cups, quarts. It's a whole different system of measurement. The metric system is based on place value. Each unit is related to the next largest or next smallest by a unit or power of 10. So if we can think about this middle part here being our base, when we measure meters, we're measuring length. When we measure liters, we're measuring liquid. When we measure grams, we're measuring weight. So all of those words fit in this same middle base unit. And then instead of giving it different names like cups or feet, we give them different amounts of sizes, like a deca or a hecto or a kilo. When we go this way, our numbers get bigger, just like on our place value chart. When we talk about deci, centi, or milli, our numbers get smaller. Again, just like on our place value chart. The metric system is a little bit tricky because we don't use it as much here in the United States. However, it has great reasons to use it, and in some ways, it's kind of easier. So let's look at another way of using this system on the next page. The nice thing about the metric system is that instead of multiplying by 16 or 2,000 or 32, we're multiplying by 10 or 100 or 1,000, which means we're multiplying by zeros and powers of 10, which is easy. So there's a nice little pattern to remember how we do this, and that pattern is right here. We start with King Henry does usually drink chocolate milk. Usually is our unit. That's our middle ground. But if we say it from king all the way down to milk, we're saying it from the largest thing to the smallest thing. So king stands for kilo, Henry stands for hecto, does stands for deca, usually stands for the unit, drink stands for deci, centi is chocolate, and milli is milk. So if we are going from a larger unit, then we would multiply. Notice here that we are multiplying by 10, or multiplying by 10 times 10, which we know is 100, or multiplying by 10 times 10 times 10, which is 1,000. We can also use those prefixes and memorize that kilo means 1,000, just like we talked about centi. Centi, like centipede, century, cent in a dollar, means 100, but it's different than hecto. Hecto means 100. Centi means 1/100th, because on this side we are getting smaller. I know that seems kind of tricky, but we actually learned it way back at the beginning of the year, and as we get going, you'll see that these problems are not too difficult. Let's try some together. All right, we're going to go ahead and use this chart that we used at the beginning, and you can see that I've given us a little metric scale on the side as well. So let's start off with, we are changing from a meter to a centimeter. And our first question said, what units are we looking at? M stands for meter, and cm stands for centimeter. So let's look at our chart over here. Meter is here in the middle, and centi is here on the right. You see that we went to the smaller side. So that means that we started with a big thing, and we went to a small thing. So just like we remember from the beginning of this unit, when we go from a big thing like a horse to a small thing like a fly, we multiply. So I know that we're going to multiply. The number that we multiply tells us how many jumps we have to take to get there. So in order to get from meter to centi, we have to stop at deci and then centi. Each time we jump, that's a power of 10. So instead of multiplying by 10, we're going to do 8.2 times 100 because there were 2 jumps of 10, which means that our number is going to get bigger and our decimal is going to move 2 places. So 8.2 is going to go 1, 2, and we're going to fill in that spot with a 0. So that would be 820. So it's way back to the beginning of the year, remembering what to do with our decimals and multiplying by powers of 10. Let's try one together. All right, 5th graders, we're in your digital math notebook now, so make sure you're on the same page as I am and typing in notes as we complete this problem. In this problem, we are changing from millimeters to centimeters. MM stands for millimeter, and CM stands for centimeter. Let's look at our conversion chart. Milli is here and centi is here. And that means that we actually went only 1 jump, but we went the other direction as our problem, which means we started out with a small thing and we changed to a big thing. Small things are flies, so from fly to horse, we divide, of course. So instead of multiplying by a power of 10, we're going to divide by a power of 10. So we have 19.3 divided by 10. When we divide, our decimal gets smaller, so it moves to the left. So our new number should be 19.3. Easy enough once we know which way we're going. Make sure we pause and write our notes in our digital math notebook before going to the next lesson practice. All right, friends, in the first part of this lesson, we converted. Remember that our other job is to compare. So in these problems, we're going to compare with our alligator symbols. In order to compare, we still need to convert. We want to find the big thing so that we can multiply. So let's look at question number 11. When we look at our chart, kilo is bigger than meter. So in order to make them the same, I want to multiply this side 5 times, now let's find out, 1, 2, 3. 10 times 10 times 10, it's going to be times 1,000. So that means that I have 5,000. So definitely my alligator should face 5,000 because 5,000 kilometers is larger than 600 kilometers. All right, let me erase and switch pen colors and we'll go to our next problem. All right, on this side we're going from centimeters to meters. So centi is here and meter is here and they are 2 jumps away from each other. So that means that I'm going to need to multiply or divide by 100. So if I'm going to change meter to centimeter, I'm going to multiply by 100. So this is going to be 5 times 100, which is 500. So that means that 5,000 centimeters is larger than 500. All right, again, let me erase and change pen colors for our next problem. In our next problem, we are going from milliliters to liters. Milliliters are here and liters are here. That means we have 1, 2, 3 jumps, and each one is worth 10. So are we going to multiply or divide? We're going from milli, which is small, to liter, which is big. So that means that we're going to multiply this side by 1,000. Well, that's an easy one. 9 times 1,000 is 9,000, which means our alligator faces that. All right, last time, friends, I'm going to erase, and I'll set you up for the last question, and then you can solve it on your own in your digital math notebook. Our last question, we're comparing meters to centimeters. So here is meters, here is centimeters. They are 1, 2 jumps away from each other. Each jump is worth 10. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 100. Remember, 2 groups of 10 is not 20. It's 10 times 10, which is 100. So that would be 200. But 200, is that bigger or smaller than 275? I'll leave you to solve that problem on your own in your digital math notebook. Great job, 5th graders. When you're comfortable with this lesson, complete your exit slip to show your teacher your understanding. Good job.